I shouldn't be surprised that I have more to say about what happened on January 6th. But I do. I have a lot more to say about what happened. Because there are so many layers to peel back. 5 people died. 5 people died. I don't give a shit what their political affiliation was. Okay? I want to make that clear. You want to know what my political affiliation is? I am a libertarian socialist. That is my political affiliation. I am a leftist. That does not mean that I will celebrate the death of someone who is my enemy unless they have harmed someone, which I don't think that person did. Five people are dead. And anyone who tells me that Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, Mike Pence, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, and every other one of these Republican cronies that enabled Trump to do this stop the steal shit can fuck off. I want to say that because I don't really care whether you agree with the idiots who did die. The 4 idiots who were Trump supporters who died. They were human beings. They had families. They had mothers. They had fathers. They possibly had siblings. They had families. And they got so brainwashed by this raving, pathetic, fascist, narcissistic scumbag that they threw their lives down for a man who didn't give a shit about them. And that breaks my damn heart. That enrages me. My friend described it as the cult of personality. Now sure, there are people I admire. There are people I really respect. Bernie Sanders is one of them. MLK is one. Cornel West is one. Noam Chomsky is a big one. But to quote, or to more or less paraphrase Noam Chomsky, he said it best. We are focused more on the ideals and the ideas of the person instead of the person themselves. Because when you are attracted to a cult of personality, like Donald Trump, you essentially are willing to become one of those Jonestown Kool-Aid drinking lunatics. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that these people got so worked up based off lies. Shit that was already disproven. Another friend of mine went into how, on his videos, how he had to deal with these assholes who were going, oh, you wait and see, something's gonna happen. What, a failed coup? A failed coup d'etat? Ran by idiots who didn't know what the hell they were doing? People who were willing to storm our nation's capital and undermine our very democracy or attempt to do so? people who are willing to execute their own president's vice president because he didn't go along with this. I hate Mike Pence. I will always hate Mike Pence. I will always claim Mike Pence is an evil scumbag. But all Mike Pence was doing his duty as VP, solidifying the election results. Something another former vice president, Joe Biden, did when Trump won in 2016. This is a process that happens. It doesn't matter what side you're on. There are processes in place in the United States. The United States is a corrupt mess, as is every country. In some ways, in a lot of ways, we fall short of some of our higher ideals. But the minute you storm the Capitol and show up armed and are willing to kill people because they don't follow your leader, because they dare to do the people's business, they dare to solidify the obvious, to state the obvious, that Donald Trump lost, that Donald Trump isn't the president anymore. Don't do that. Don't ever, ever, ever do that, according to these people. Because if you do, we'll fucking storm the Capitol, we will be the most entitled piece of shit ever, and we will lay down our clearly meaningless lives to do it. What has Donald Trump done for these idiots, is what I truly want to know. Now you're like, why are you calling them idiots? That's so harsh. You don't firmly believe in Donald Trump unless you're frankly an idiot. There are Republicans who voted for Donald Trump, who supported Donald Trump because they wanted their taxes lowered. I think lowering your taxes on certain matters is bullshit, especially when it results in a regressive tax for the poor, which it often does. Because trickle-down economics is a joke, but that's another story for another time. And I'm sorry if I'm slurring my words. I have my retainers in, so I won't be as clear as I'd like to be. It took this long for some Republicans, 43% of Republicans, to go, this man is a travesty. 45% loved the coup. Oh, they supported the coup. They thought the coup was fantastic. Perfectly justified. You know what I also want to talk about? I want to talk about the double standard. If this had been BLM or the Black Bloc, hundreds of people would have died. Hundreds. Think about that. If they had attempted to do what these schmucks did, Washington would have been a bloodbath. A bloodbath filled with American citizens. And that thought is terrifying. Portland is a perfect case study of the double standard. You had the Black Bloc forming shields around protesters. You know, what do I mean by forming shields? Well, you know how they basically took this out of ancient Rome or Greece, I believe. How they would do this type of formation to deflect tear gas canisters. To protect American citizens practicing their First Amendment right in response to police murdering unarmed black people. But if you're white, if you're a white supremacist, if you're a Proud Boy, if you're a Georgia 3%er, if you're part of the Klan, if you're Patriot Prayer, one of these assholes, I don't ever want to hear people complain about the Black Bloc or BLM rioting again. I'm not denying there was property damage at BLM protests. I'm not denying that when the Black Bloc shows up, properties are going to get wrecked. People aren't going to get hurt. I'm not denying any of that. shit happens. People who are on the same side do not always have the same moral principles guiding them or the same motivating factors, even though they should. You know what you didn't see the Black Bloc or BLM ever do? One, BLM is a non-violent organization. So I want to keep that in mind. Two, 97% of BLM protests were non-violent. Three, none of those people ever attempted to storm the U.S. Capitol and hold congressmen hostage. You know what I didn't see at that Stop the Steal disgrace? I didn't see armed troops shoving these people like you did at those BLM protests. I didn't see tons of people getting tackled. I didn't see the same fucking level of state violence. When arguably, if you're an authoritarian and you believe that what the police are doing is just, there was an arguably justifiable reason to be that brutal at the Stop the Steal shit. And yet, when you have the most perfect example for police to use excessive force, the police don't do so. In fact, the police help these sons of bitches by lowering their gates, separating the rioters from the Capitol. I almost made the same mistake. I almost made a mistake by calling these traitors, protesters. And don't you fucking dare give me shit for calling these people traitors. Traitors attempt a coup d'etat. Traitors attempt to murder the vice president. That is what a traitor does. I will never mince my words in that regard. Ever. Ever. What I find so aggravating is how the media is praising people like Lindsey Graham or Mitch McConnell or Mike Pence. They are just as responsible for this disgrace as Trump. Oh, they may not have said anything, but that's the important fact. Mitch McConnell said, oh, the president has the right to inform and make sure the election process is secure. Despite several intelligence officials saying the 2020 election was safe and secure. Admittedly, at the time, I was skeptical of those claims myself because of the Russian interference that happened in the 2016 election. But Mitch McConnell does that. I don't care in December if he decided to formally declare that Biden won. I don't care. I don't care. The results were there to begin with. Pence didn't say anything. Graham didn't say anything. And now what happens to them? They get harassed and they get attacked by their own monsters. I have zero sympathy for Lindsey Graham. I saw a video of him getting harassed by Trump supporters who were calling him a traitor. Oh, not because Graham didn't do anything until after an attempted coup happened. No, you got called a traitor for not following their leader. These people are a perfect example of a hive mind. They really are. What this also proves to me is literally every single thing that any conservative has accused a liberal president of, or a leftist of, and I'm going to separate these as two categories, is all projection. These people have the opportunity to denounce and push back against these traitors to the country before this attempted coup. And then people go, well, the left doesn't hold their own accountable. The reason the left has not been as successful as the right in terms of achieving political power is because the left is overly critical, and the left cannibalizes itself every chance it gets. But now we're starting to see the right do that. You'd think I'd be happy seeing that, but I'm not. Because it led to people dying. What a way to start the new year. 5 people died for nothing. Five people died for such a despicable purpose. You know, there's a reason why I haven't done political commentary. Because I can't remain, or I can't have this objective facade, or this facade of professionalism. Let's be about families. And they're dead. And the person that instigated that doesn't give a fuck. I hope that we can somehow get through this insanity. I hope we can fix our damn country. Because there is absolutely no reason how to ever get like this. Now, I can tell you, historically speaking, you could trace it back to the extremist policies of the Bush administration, and then you can trace it, well, not further back. You can trace it to the Tea Party, and then to Trump. Almost like a smooth line of extremism. But you know, at the end of the day, we're all Americans. Oh, at least Americans are watching this. And we forget that sometimes. There's a great James Baldwin quote that I want to cite, but I can't remember it, sadly. I'm just sad. And I'm absolutely disgusted. There are layers to it. So many layers. You know, I've yelled and screamed at a camera enough. These extremists are the masters of projection. This coup showed it, and I don't care if people have an issue with me calling it a coup. because there is not a more perfect word in the English language to describe what happened on January 6th other than a coup. We gotta try to rehabilitate our institutions. We gotta re-legitimize them somehow. We gotta fix them. Because right now, during this entire pandemic, the United States government has failed the American people to prove that it is a legitimate power structure. What do you call a country or a government unwilling to give its people health care during a pandemic? What do you call a government that is unwilling to pay its people what it is owed? When they are losing their jobs, their businesses, their livelihoods, and they gotta end up on the damn streets. What do you call that? Now keep in mind, I'm not saying that any of that relates to the coup that happened. I'm just talking generally right now. I hope to God this is the last video I make on this subject, because I'm sick of it. It's like I say I'm sick of talking about it, and then it's like I get an idea, and I go, oh, I'm going to talk about that. It's not right. It's just not right what happened. How do we as a people justify it? You can't laugh at this. There's too much evil that led to this. I think the start of getting rid of that evil is going to be on January 20th. And then we're going to have a new evil to face. The standard evil of neoliberalism. Which I think you can actually reason with. Perhaps I'm being naive in that statement. But it does matter who is in the White House. And maybe we can fix that. And maybe we can pressure it. At least I hope so. Live long and prosper and have a good day.